everybody. How's it going? My name is Jack Devine, and welcome back to another episode of Jacksnax Office Hours. An opportunity for you, if you happen to be tuning in, to reach out and ask any questions to little old moi, and for me to share with you something that was on my mind after practicing a little bit this morning. And I figured I would talk a little bit about how to implement couple of different strategies while playing over top of a progression that can get tired pretty quick. Just a standard blues here. Let me get my little teleprompter phone here in case anybody asks any questions. And, I was sitting there thinking, this isn't a bad opportunity for us to figure out, what can we actually get at here? We've got we're in a blues and G basically. So G, C, and D. But, there's a bunch of options that we have. We can employ major pentatonics, minor pentatonics, some modal sounds, some Dorian, Mixolydian. So really, let's look at the G chord, right? Okay, let's get this mic up here. Get the camera a little bit more on the fingerboard. So minor pentatonic, duh. All right, major pentatonic, right? Mixolydian. All right. And then last but not least, Dorian. That kind of sound. All right. All over the G chord and also over top of the C chord. We can play Pretty much all those sounds, with the exception of the G major pentatonic, we wouldn't want to play that over top of C major. We would want to go C major pentatonic. And I'm not really a big fan of playing C minor pentatonic over the 4 chord, but it can be done sparingly. And then the 5 chord, I'm kind of treating a little bit more like a sharp 9 sound here. That kind of sound. All right. So over top of that, I'm still kind of employing Mixolydian sounds. Okay, so here's parallel Mixolydian. This is all 3 chords being treated in Mixolydian. Okay. Right, very bright. You don't want to keep going parallel Mixolydian against all 3 chords, but it can be a nice bright sound. It particularly conjures that that opening, right? Sound, that kind of bright or open sound over top of what we would anticipate to be minor pentatonic the whole way. Kind of mean. Okay, so that works. Okay, so we kind of commingle the 2 of them. Kind of give you that tough guy sound and then brighten it up. Right here. Okay, see how I kind of cheered it up a little bit at the end there by coming up to the major 3rd? Okay, that's mixing up modes. That's really what we're doing. So you can kind of brighten or darken the voice of your guitar by just varying the content. It's not just one or the other. You don't have to be kind of stuck in one sound for all 3 chords. You can commingle them. All right, let's look at Dorian sound. Okay, let's think about G Dorian over top of the G blues. Okay, so that was using G Dorian over the tonic, and then G Dorian and C are the same there, right? So if we have that G Dorian sound, that's going to be over top of the C chord, very sonorous, and just kind of flows right into it. And then the D chord, we would just kind of blues out. Sorry. And then back to C. And then by breaking finally free and coming up to the major 3rd, we resolve in that kind of sweeter way. Again, a lot of this stuff kind of reminds me a little bit of the Miles Davis sound that I like, but Who am I to compare myself to that dude? Fucking crazy. I've been listening to a lot of Modals lately, though. So one of the things that you want to think about, obviously, is pacing. When you're making music, you gotta be pretty considerate. You gotta think about what you're playing over, what's tolerable, right? So if we're gonna be dealing with a pretty busy loop here, we've got 3 elements. We've got a muted guitar kind of going like that kind of thing, and then there's one going like, and then there's a bass line. So here, listen up. Up to 4. There's that bass lick that's going to happen every time on the way to 4, so we got to contend with that. And here comes our 5, and let's give that a listen, see if it sounds sharp 90 enough. So I'm hearing that F pretty prominently over the 5 chord, so that when you hear the F in addition to the F sharp, that's where you get that dissonance, okay? So that does open up some options for going like, right, this kind of, we can change this note, all right? Okay, so we can use some tritones, right, that kind of thing, or that's dissonant, or this. That one's really gnarly. Okay, so that can happen over top of the D chord. Let's try some of that dissonant stuff, okay? So you saw me go F and F sharp, like that, except without the little flumper in there, okay? So that's the idea. Which brings me to kind of this next idea that I talk about. And that's, I tend to utilize these 3 fingers to play the bulk of my lines, unless I need to reach up and grab something that's out of place with my pinky. That's not to say that I don't use my pinky when it's convenient. It's just this is one of its more usable moves, and to tie it up with playing, I guess, out of like some sort of dogmatic approach where, you know, I've kind of reconsidered the use of my fingers and started spreading out my index and middle a little bit more to gain stuff. That kind of thing where I'm playing, you know, where I'm kind of coming here rather than keeping it like this. Right, I kind of slanted my hand a couple of years ago and started reaching like this more and leaving my pinky available for what I call like special teams, right? He's like the wide safety, all right? He's the guy that, you know, you could be playing and then sneak him in there, right? So, right? Fucking cool, right? Flat third, right to major third. Again, that's that sharp 9 against it. That's right, just displacing the octaves, right? Normally we are hearing the major third here and the minor third there, but if you go minor third there, major third there, it gets really gnarly. Okay, our ear is trained to hear this much more. All right, so that was me using the sharp 9 over top of the root. All right, can't really do that too much over the 4 chord. That doesn't sound good. Watch. I tried it once or twice in there, and that's when you saw me go thumbs down on one of my lines. That's how I use my pinky a lot. It's like to broaden out the line a little bit. So like if I'm going that kind of thing, just kind of leaving them out of the picture, and then, oh, you forgot about me, boink, and then broadens the line, right? I'm playing up close, and then I'll reach up and grab a note. Okay, like that. Kind of a little sneaky pinky, right? That kind of deal. All right, so that's basically what this is about, is mixing up modes and keeping things fresh and surprising people. All right, I'm also utilizing a bit of a spacey sound. This isn't a traditional blues sound or a traditional funk sound. There's a lot of goo. All right, you can hear it's quite dull. Much of that would just mix in with, if there was a drummer playing, I don't think we'd be kind of considering it in that way. I tend to, when I make loops, I don't play drums into the Kemper. This is all just done by me grabbing a couple of instruments and pumping it into the Kemper in a couple of minutes. So it's not like some big premeditated thing, but I do like to fill up the sound. So I'll often then at the end, when I choose the lead tone that's going to go over top of it, I'll make it a little bit more spacey just to gobble it up. But you'll notice that the use of effects is generally dull effects. I'm not a big fan of bright delays and bright reverbs. I don't mind using a lot of it, just not, I don't want it to be bright. The thing I want to be the back and the forward and backward image of the sound to the ear, for me, is largely controlled by the timbre, how bright. Okay, so if I want something to duck down into the background like these echoes, watch how they keep getting darker. They start out pretty dark, and by the end, they're just a wash, kind of like a pillow of ambient G note. Right, and then it's gone. So let's play a little bit major thirds over top of these guys again and see if we can mess around with that mild sound, and then get up to the sharp 9 over the 5 chord. So that's about it. There's nothing much more to it other than mixing up your modes. So minor pentatonic, okay, over the 1. You can do Dorian over the 1. You can do Mixolydian over the 1, and you can just play straight, more traditional blues. If we drop some of the space stuff here and we just kind of go, just more like. We can kind of make it a little bit more rootsy. Right? Let's talk a little bit about this 2/5. The the idea is that we're playing from this G chord into a 4 chord, right? So if we're going from 1 to 4, what I was thinking about is that you would do a quick D minor 7 sound, and then a quick G7 sound on your way into. So this is the 2 of the 1, okay? Like we're calling 4 the C chord. That's our new 1. So we're targeting C. So we're going to play its 2 and its 5 on the way to it, okay? So we would hear 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I played that little D minor. Right, D. G's 3rd. Right? Whoop. All right, I'm trying to get out there a little bit. All right, so that's about it. I'm not sure what else is going on here in my world. I took off for a couple of days and went down to a swim meet with my son and watched him swim down in D.C. Super fun. Enjoyed that for sure, but it's good to be back and gearing up for the holiday season. I'm looking forward to seeing what folks are up to and what ends up happening here. I've got some big projects coming up in the next year. It's going to be an exciting year around here. We're going to be doing quite a lot of recording over here at my house. It's taken a little while longer than I thought it would, but good news is there's stuff on the way. I may be transitioning outside of the YouTube-y thing pretty shortly, though. Okay, so that's an interesting sound to be able to get as that little mixolydian and then playing into C mixolydian over the 4, right? Let's think about it, right? You're going to hear me. I'm going to play a little major third, like that kind of sound. Sorry. Right before the transition into the 4 chord, okay? But I'll start out playing more like a traditional bluesy sound. Okay, that's that sound that I'm talking about. Let's try it again. So one of these shapes that I use an awful lot is when I'm coming down and I'm thinking mixolydian. So over the G, I would be thinking like, over top of the D, I would be thinking, and C. Right, so that shape is started with the middle finger on the root of whatever chord you want to be playing the mixo of, and you go 1, 3, 5, flat 7, and then go on the G string. And we got all of our notes, right? 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 4, 3, 5, 7, 9, 1, right? commingling mixolydian and minor pentatonic. Gets you that kind of sound where you're hearing flat thirds being bent. Bluesy sounds like flat fives. And then that little 2-5-1 in the middle gets you some nice blend, right? And that's about all I have to say on that. To quote Forrest Gump. All right. So I don't think anybody's out there asking questions, so I'm probably going to duck out of here, but it's still fun to come and kind of talk story into the computer for a second or two and then get back to life in general here. I don't see anybody talking to me here, so I'm okay with that. Anybody doing anything fun for Christmas? If you are, let me know. I'm curious. Well, me? I'm not doing anything. I'm staying here, man. I'm tired. Tired old fart. I've got to gear up for some real energy for the new year. I got a big push I got to make with these couple of projects I have coming through. First and foremost is getting back into the production game. So I'm going to be having a lot more studio time and recording, and probably shift the focus of the channel to talking about how to record and different bits of equipment and studio gear and things like that, which is actually something I did for a living for, I don't know, probably 20 years or something like that. That and session work, you know. So if you guys have sessions and you want mixes or masters or tracks or solos or stuff like that, or any kind of tips, that's what I'll be doing. I'll be talking about that. Probably not in this live thing, but more like gear reviews and that kind of shit. But as far as like teaching you guys guitar, I get the feeling that most everybody here is, you know, saturated. There's only so many times you can hear me talk about the major pentatonic and add flat 3 and the Parker enclosure. All right, so try using that pinky idea. Try stretching out a little bit. All right, I know this kind of position, it throws most people that grow up thinking like one finger to a fret. Right, that kind of idea. That's not a bad way of approaching it. But I tried to think about what would happen if, you know, I was always doing keeping this kind of covered with these three, so that I could think more like opening up intervallic options, kind of expanding things, being able to go like, right, that's kind of that kind of thing, or pedal tone licks, right, that kind of idea. Anyway, here we go. Idea I was doing there that you might want to take a good look at is this idea over the 5 chord. switch some of that goo. So let's take it down an octave so we can see it a little bit bigger. This is our D7 sound, right? So we're going to come up. All right. So that's down, 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 up, down. That's what I'm doing. Or you could go down, up, but then you're in an upstroke and the next couple of notes benefit from being swept. So try doing some directional picking from time to time. It might open up some doors for you. So I'm going to come up to the root. All right. Now I'm going to spread out like a C chord. All right. Imagine my finger having to do that to grab the 5, right? So that's this there, here, but I'm going to go. Right. Look at the right hand. Down, down, up, down, 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 up. Right? So then I'm going to double back on the sequence. Right? So now I'm going root tis 2, right? To the 6 or to the root or to the flat 7 again. Right? I've got all kinds of options here, but I'm basically just kind of doubling back and then sweeping down. Notice that my hand is never rotating. It's all about this right hand concept, okay? That's with the 6. Kind of like with the flat 7 over top of the 5 chord, right? Okay, again, I'm taking that 3rd, flat 7, 9, 5, and kind of going over top of that D sound. Again with the directional picking. This kind of thing is stock and trade for Eric Johnson. But he doesn't use it with the chromatics and the kind of bluesier sound that I've got. But he likes pure pentatonic stuff. That kind of thing, but I'm kind of... that kind of thing. Whoop. It is a tough technique in terms of keeping it steady, and having seen Eric play a few times, when the right hand kind of jumps ahead, that's when it seems like it's a little out of the groove. And I've seen him lose the beat a few times with, he kind of gets ahead of himself because you've got one stroke that's fighting gravity and another one that doesn't. It just kind of goes right through. So it's easy to let up on the resistance a little too much and have it get ahead of the beat. So that's it right there in a nutshell. Down, down, up, down, 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 up. Right? Okay, then coming back. Back to this 3rd. And then just have some fun. Okay, and that's where Eric Johnson and Jerry Garcia meshed together for me. Definitely 2 huge heroes for me. So you get that, your EVH and your SRV. It's all the initials, guys, I guess, at the end there. And there it is. All right. Well, look, that's 40 minutes of me yammering into the great beyond. And this is me without a haircut for 4 months, without shaving. So everybody, thank you very much. All 3 of you, or 5 of you, or I don't know how many people are watching, but I'm going to say goodbye and go have some lunch and get ready for my afternoon lessons. All right, take care of yourselves, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Bye.